Are you bored living a mediocre life? We were too, and we know how to change that. Each week, we'll leave our comfort zones to explore a new topic, then step onto our soapboxes, a safe space to sound off on our latest adventure. Come explore with us. All opinions are welcome. This is a mindset. This is a lifestyle. This is Siren Soapbox.
Hello, thank you for diving in with us, fellow explorers. Our mission is to inspire each other to explore outside our comfort zones. Exploration is for everyone, no matter your location or situation. But be warned, exploring beyond the confines of a comfort zone can lead to meaningful growth and lasting happiness. So are you ready to take that first step outside of your comfort zone? Dive into sirensoapbox.com, where you'll find links to our blog, Patreon, and movie club. So many ways to explore. Pick one today and experience life outside your comfort zone. I learned very early in life, without a song, the day would never end. Without a song, a man ain't got a friend. Without a song, the road would never bend. Without a song. So I keep singing a song. Elvis. That's right. Today we're talking all about music. According to headphonesaddict.com, the average person listens to 961 hours and 10 minutes of music per year. An average person hears roughly 1.3 million songs in their lifetime, and it would take over 600 years to listen to every song in the world, which, according to the Guinness Book of World Records, is 16 trillion songs. Music reduces pain, reduces anxiety, blood pressure, releases dopamine, and improves sleep, alertness, and memory. That's one of the great things about music. You can sing a song to 85,000 people, and they'll sing it back for 85,000 different reasons. David Grohe. This show was inspired by Mark, who challenged us to curate a top 10 playlist that has meaning to you and share it with your fellow explorer. He says, I feel music plays an important role in life. There is always a song or artist that brings you back to an important event in your life. While the motivation for this challenge is an all-time favorite song list, it doesn't necessarily have to be that. It could be the best 10 songs to listen to at the pool or beach, 10 best songs while cleaning, road trip songs, songs that help define who you are. You can create the topic and curate the list. Here is a Facebook post that kicked off a 2-week series of posts of my top 15, version 2.0. March 1st, 2018. About 10 years ago, a handful of my friends challenged each other to create a CD of each of our top 10 songs. I'm not sure how any of us were able to edit to a list down to a number that low. I recall anywhere from 14 to 20-ish songs. I myself made it to 15, and that was after a 6 to 8 month process of listening, editing, re-listening, editing, and so on. If you haven't attempted compiling a list like this, I encourage you to try. It wasn't easy, but I learned a lot about myself in the process. And we have links to his Facebook posts and his Spotify list in the show notes, and you can check that out for yourself. But for now, the Sirens have compiled a top 10 list, and we're going to go in soapbox order to try and guess whose playlist is who and what the theme is. And then you'll find links to the Siren songs in the show notes. If you want to play along, pause the show right now and check out and check out that Spotify list, because there will be spoilers ahead. After we reveal everyone's playlist, we'll do our soapboxes about why we picked the songs that we did. But first, if at any time the conversation gets too intense, the safe word is...
Mango.
We're going to guess what we think Siren Mur's playlist number is first. Siren Sarah, what's your guess?
So, some of this was a little bit of maybe, what's the word I'm looking for? Process of elimination. But I feel like Mur's playlist is playlist number 1. There were some really heartfelt songs that I thought might have some meaning for Mur in this playlist, and some pretty rousing, insane music that also I thought fit Mur pretty well. So that's my guess. I think number 1.
So I thought I also thought Myrrh was number one. For one, because Mark was compiling the list, and I mean,
to
Myrrh
be clear,
should be number one.
Yes.
At least if he wants to stay on Myrrh's good side, she should be number one. But also because the variety of music types, and I think I remember something about her mentioning that she has moods to the music that she likes to listen to depending on the day, and there was a pretty big variety in that list. So that's why I thought Myrrh was number one. So Elsie, what you got?
So I thought Myrrh was number 5, mainly because there's a Disturbed song on there. We went to a Five Finger Death Punch concert and we met up. So it's kind of a similar style. And there were some kind of hippie songs mixed in with some 2000s pop, and it was quite a range of different music. So that's what I'm guessing for her. And I'm thinking it might be a top favorites list. Oh, wait, sorry. What kind of theme do you think?
A Myrrh theme, clearly.
All right.
I don't know. I don't know that there was a particular theme because again, there was quite a lot of variety in playlist number one. So hard to pick a definite theme except maybe this is me. And this is what I'm thinking and feeling. Just came across that way.
Jess, do you think the same thing?
Yeah, just like a different song for every mood, I guess. The many moods of Myrrh.
All right, TC.
I also thought that Myrrh was list number 5. The reason that I thought she was and I think her theme, at first I thought her theme was her mom, but then I kept looking down the theme, and I think her theme is people she loves. And the reason I chose that, first of all, there's a 30 Seconds to Mars song on there. And so that was my first clue. Girl, You'll Be a Woman Soon. I thought that might remind her of her daughters. And then there's Since You've Been Gone, which I thought might remind her of her mom, or maybe me, because I've been gone. There are some songs that I think might be Marky Mark songs on there. So that's what I thought.
Mark.
All right. So for Sarah, I think Sarah's playlist, my gut reaction is that your playlist is Siren's songs number 3. And the reason I thought that is because the very first song on that playlist is Sleepwalk by Santana and Johnny. And that song is featured in Sleepwalkers, which is a Stephen King story. And I know that you're a Stephen King fan, Sarah.
Wow.
Oh my God. I am way overthinking some of these. All right. But then a Les Mis song came on and I was like, whoa, is this LC's playlist maybe?
Ooh.
I mean, but in the end, I settled on Sarah, and I think that the theme is her top 10 favorite songs to dance with Bill to.
That would never be wrong, that part.
So Jess, what about you? What did you think about Sarah's playlist?
I thought Sarah's was number 5 because I could just picture her listening to some of the classics as well as some of the pop songs, like just while trying to block out the nonsense at work or, cleaning around the house. It just was like a very tune out everything else kind of playlist. And I know that she has talked about doing her Duolingo and stuff like that at work while trying to block out stuff around her. So that was my thought.
So I thought Sarah's was number 3 because some of the songs kind of just listening to them, I imagine kind of riding in the country, wild and free on a motorcycle. And I thought maybe the theme could be a weekend riding on the bike mix.
I thought that Sarah's list was number 2. We're all over the place. And the reason, so I thought that her theme was maybe a progression of her life, going from her childhood till now, because I don't know if it's in order. Mine was in anyway, Mermaid is low on the list and she joined us, and I don't know. That's what I thought.
Hey, who's next? Jess. Who's next? Jess?
Wait, did
Yes.
LC say?
Yeah, I said.
Oh,
Yeah.
She gets 3.
So Sarah,
Oh, that's
guess
right.
what you think. Or wait, you went first already, didn't you?
yeah. So now it's Jess's turn.
But it's for Jess.
Oh,
Yep, it's-
oh yeah. So who goes
So
first?
then I guess.
Yeah, you go first, LC.
All right. So I think Jess is number 2 because some of those were pop songs and it reminded me of when we used to carpool to go diving together. And I think it could be a top favorites list.
TC, what do you think?
I guessed Jess's as number 3. No, I didn't. Yes,
Lies.
I did. I did. I guessed Jess's as number 3. And I couldn't come up with a theme or even a level of confidence that I was right in my guess, because then I saw Les Mis and I was like, oh, maybe that's LC, but I still guessed it basically by process of elimination. Originally, I thought that she might be number 1 because that playlist was created before anyone else's. And so I felt like she might get her playlist in to mark the quickest, but nope, I think she's number 3. And
oh, it's
the
my
next-
turn. Sorry. I'm not used to going after you. All right. So for Jess, after much deliberation, I chose Siren Songs number 2. And I think that because all of the songs on that playlist, well, first of all, Jess is all about empowerment and independence, and I think that playlist goes right along with that theme. And so I think the theme of the number 2 playlist, which I think belongs to Jess, is Try Me. I'm a badass and I dare you to stand in my way. Sarah, what do you think?
Well, as we go through here, I realize I'm now probably wrong, but because I think that Jess has picked number 5 for someone else, but I had Jess as number 5. There were some really, the song Africa, I don't know, it just seemed like a really cool song that Jess would like. I'm not sure why. And it was just a really, I liked that playlist. Some kind of interesting stuff. The Sound of Silence, I'd never heard that done by Disturbed before. And I don't know, it just, for whatever reason, it had a Jess feel to me. And as far as the theme, I'm not very good at that. I think it was just... I don't know what the theme would have been or the title of that playlist except for Jess, but it might be wrong. Who's next? I've completely lost track of who's next.
All right, so now we're guessing LC's, and TC's going to go first.
Okay.
All right, I'll go
Oh, thank
first. I am guessing that LC is Siren Song 1. And the reason that I think that, and also maybe themish, there's a lot of water songs on here. There's Rocking the Boat and Burn the Ships, and there's Sitting on the Dock of the Bay, Brown Eyed Girl. And I was trying to go through and look at pictures to try to remember who all has brown eyes, but I couldn't remember. And I think the theme is a particular difficult time in her life that she had to move past, deal with and move past. That's what I think it is.
Okay, so I also think that playlist number 1, Siren Songs number 1, belongs to LC. And I also think that because it has a sort of water feel to it, but also the Jimmy Buffett rendition of Brown Eyed Girl. And that song, I think it's Jerusalema. It's like a very Caribbean dance song. I love that song. So then I switched back and forth, but I listened to it a second time and I was like, yeah, that's LC. I'm pretty sure it's LC. And the very last song is what did it for me. That song by Ice Nine Kills, because LC likes her metal a little heavy. And I think the theme is water. Top 10 favorite songs that remind you of the sea.
Wait, I'm just going to jump in because that Jerusalema song however you say that word.
I don't know
I
if
did
I'm
a
saying
little
it
bit
right.
of research on that song because I also thought it was a really interesting sound. And it's all about, I can't remember now, but it's about God.
There you go. Even that even solidifies my answer even more.
Yeah, me too.
Is it me?
Yeah.
So I had Elsie's playlist as Siren Songs playlist number 3, because there were a couple of religious type songs in there that reference God. And I just thought that might fit with Elsie, plus a couple of maybe heartfelt life story sort of songs in there. And clearly I kind of suck at this, but I think that whoever belongs to playlist number 3, that Play Crack the Sky, what the hell? I mean, that is a very interesting song. I cannot wait to hear who that belongs to.
So I thought Elsie was number 2. So we are all over the place.
We really are.
I thought it was number 2 because there was an Imagine Dragons song in there, and I know she went to an Imagine Dragons concert with Connor, and also some of the songs in there seemed like they could go with songs that you would want to listen to during certain points in your life. So I don't know, just made me kind of think of her because of that and because of the Imagine Dragons. And I know, obviously, Connor is very important in her life.
Very important.
So are we on to TC?
We're on to TC now, and
It's gonna be unanimous. Nobody has guessed my playlist.
Is there anybody that doesn't think?
I just kind of want everybody to, at the same time, blurt out the number that we think TC's playlist is, and then we can all go in soapbox order saying why.
All right,
Ready?
on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Number 4.
But why do we think that? Mur, do you want to go first?
Yes, because all of the songs are about happiness. And there's a Kenny Chesney song on the playlist that was quoted on the cups that they gave away at their wedding. Happy is as happy does. That's probably not the right title, but that's what it says. And each song on this list was designed to make you feel happy. So that's the theme I'm choosing for this playlist: happiness.
I agree 100%. Happy, happy, happy. And oh, yep, Kenny Chesney was in there too. It was definitely a fun playlist to listen to. I think TC hit the nail on the head as far as finding a happy playlist. So great job.
Great job.
Ditto.
Yeah, I have, without a doubt, it's TC, unless someone is massively trolling us. And I had the same observation as Mur, that she just had her wedding, and there was a quote from Happy Does in there. Definitely a theme of happiness and living in the moment. So I can't really tell if it's a happiness playlist or a TC's fave, but, what's the difference?
All right, let's
so we
spill.
all guess that.
All right, well, I'll go first. As for me, let me start by saying that music has always played a role in my life. I started playing the violin when I was in like the 7th grade, and I bought my very first tape that same year. It was Blood Sugar Sex Magic by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. My sister and my mom always had some kind of music blaring in the house. I remember falling in love with The Gambler at a very young age on vinyl. And my grandparents also always had music playing, and you would often see them dancing together in the living room or in the basement. And one of my favorite things to do is put on a playlist and start cooking. So I have one playlist, it's called Friday Night, that's been evolving since its creation in like 2011. That playlist and my Independence playlist are the biggest reasons I haven't left YouTube Music yet. I gotta figure that out. So which playlist is mine? Siren Songs number 5. That's right. So my theme, I thought was fairly obvious, but nobody got it. My theme was, although I loved Elsie and TC's reasons for thinking it was the number 5. But these are just my top 10 favorite cover songs. So not only do I love music, but I love to hear other artists' representations of songs as well.
So that's what I put together. Sarah, which playlist is yours?
Well, I'll get to that. All, I have to admit that I was a little bit worried when we started this challenge because, as crazy as I know you are all going to think this is, I'm not usually a heavy listener of music. I tend to favor listening to an audiobook or even, don't judge, listening to one of my favorite TV shows, even in the car. Sometimes I'll have my little phone turned like this, and Ben will say, "Are you watching a show?" No, I'm just listening. It's fine. So I was struggling to figure out what songs that I was pick as my favorites because I couldn't just put an entire Pink Floyd album on there, and Pink Floyd is definitely my favorite group. So after thinking about it for a bit, and especially after we talked about the idea of sort of different themed playlists, it occurred to me that really I only listen to music when I'm running, unless I guess I'm in the car with someone else, and then I'm just listening to that person's favorite music. So I already had a running playlist. It had 32 songs on it. So well, I took some time to decide which were my favorites. And there are a variety of reasons why these songs are even on the playlist. So can you tell the theme of my playlist was a running playlist? The first entrance requirement is a certain beat, one that you can run to. You cannot run to a slow song. And a few of the songs that I have on my playlist are kind of angry songs, a little bit of FU in the lyrics, which are absolutely perfect when I'm pissed off about not being done running yet. Sometimes I'm belting out the words of the songs, belting them out, in my head, silently, actually just mouthing the words. I really wonder if other people out there running things that I've lost it. But that's why I like knowing the words to the songs I'm running to. At least I think I know the words, and those are the words that I sing. But one of my songs even has a line, "There's a maniac out in front of me," and I would always look for Bill running ahead of me. Of course, this song ended up on my revised playlist. And as I was paring down my running playlist and making the cuts, I realized I had about 5 Linkin Park songs in there. So in order to minimize the ear bleeding, I managed to pick a favorite. You're welcome, Sirens. So I don't know if anyone's figured it out, but my playlist was playlist number 2, and it is my running playlist. I have to say that I love how Mark made these playlists. It was so fun. I don't know about anyone else, and we can talk about it later, but the Spotify app was pretty interesting, but I'll leave that for our conversation. So this was fun. I loved it. Jess, awesome. What was your playlist?
Same. I loved this challenge. It was very hard to narrow down a top 10. So what I did was a top choices that made me think about a specific person or event in my life. So with that being said, I was number 3. Santo and Johnny is what Ben and I danced to at our wedding. So that was, of course, number 1 on my list. I for some reason didn't actually print out the list and have it in front of me, but other ones that made me think about just people in my life, like my parents always had music playing, same thing at my house, like especially when we would be cleaning the house and we'd all have to do our specific chores, like we would put on a song, or when we're doing road trips, we would each take turns picking out CDs because, this was when I was road tripping, was, CDs was the thing. And so it would be, so-and-so's turn to choose what we're listening to in the car. So things like Les Mis, like we've been a very big show tunes family. Les Mis is the first play I ever saw in person, and I adore it. And so just different songs that made me think about different people in my life or events, times in my life. So that's why I picked it. But I very much enjoyed this. I think I'm going to have to make different playlists for different themes because I'm going to steal some of these themes. So LC, what you got?
All right, drum roll, please. Figure that's appropriate for today. My list was number 1, and I did the all-time favorites for my theme. I picked Dave Matthews Band, Where Are You Going? Because DMB reminds me of when Jack and I first started dating. And then we got back into that kind of genre around the time Connor was born. And then we're kind of on our 3rd wave of listening to Dave Matthews Band. We went to a concert recently, and the entire crowd was singing the refrain to Where Are You Going? And it was pretty magical. Jack Johnson and this entire album reminds me of my first trip to the Keys when I was pregnant with Connor, and we just listened to this album over and over again. Brown Eye Girl by Jimmy Buffett. This song I thought was probably going to be the one that gave me away because I love Jimmy, and my aunt always says that this is our theme song. Sitting on the Dock, I know this is supposed to be a pretty sad song, but for me, it reminds me to be present and being one with the ocean and the tide. Three Little Birds, again, from when I was pregnant. Jack was about to be deployed, and my father had just found out he had prostate cancer, and he would sing the song a lot and remind us all not to worry. Jerusalem, I heard this song for the first time during my trip to St. Croix, and it's a pretty magical song, and it was a pretty magical time when we were there. The Chain, not sure why I picked this one, and it's a relatively new favorite. It reminds me of standing strong in who you are. Burn the Ships was my witness song for my retreat, and it's an old maritime saying when captains would literally burn their ships to make their crew face whatever it is they didn't want to face on land. And this song, to me, is about accepting the past, facing it, and moving on stronger than before. Rock the Boat is about the movie Jaws, and it is an epic rock song that I love listening to at full blast with the doors and top off on my Jeep on a summer day. Benny and the Jets, I think this is my all-time favorite number one. I remember listening to this the first time as a little kid in my basement, and it was unlike anything I'd ever heard before, and Elton was unlike any performer I'd ever seen before, and I would just pour over the lyrics again and again, trying to make sense of it. It reminds me of my childhood, but also heard this last year over the speakers at Target, and just walking through the store and hearing so many people in all the aisles singing along to this song throughout the store was pretty cool. So this is a really awesome challenge, and it made me think of other playlists throughout the years and what they mean to me. TC, that means you're number 4.
4.
I know you're all surprised by that. So I was number 4, and the theme is just my basic philosophy of life, which is a whole lot of happiness and a lot of doing things right now and being present. And so Three Little Birds, no matter what's going on, everything is going to be all right. 1 minute more is all about not waiting. You just do it right now. And happy is as happy does. Kenny Chesney. That's the one that Dino said I shouldn't include because he thought that would give it away. And I said, seriously, look at my playlist. Do you think anyone is going to doubt which one of these is mine?
That's hilarious. Tracy, this one involves me, so don't put it on the playlist. That'll give it away.
Exactly. So I started out by building a playlist that reminded me of Dino. And then I decided that since we just got married, that would be really obvious. But then I realized that almost any playlist I choose that I enjoy listening to is probably going to be pretty obvious because I really only listen to upbeat music. There are times that I will listen to some hard metal, but I have to limit that because it starts to have an impact. So yeah, number 4, and it's about happiness and not waiting and being present.
No doubt. So I have a
Also
100%. Nice job. Did anybody else get 100%?
No.
No,
I did terrible.
I messed up Jess's and Sarah's. I
Same.
those.
Can I count the fact that I got my own right? Does that factor in?
Sure.
Well, that doubles my score right there.
Now you're passing. Congratulations.
Nice job, Sarah. Way to pass. So TC, sorry, go ahead, Elsie.
Oh, I was just going to say, I only noticed one duplicate song, I think.
Was it that Bob Marley song?
Yeah, Three Little Birds.
Yep. That's a great song.
I had a 30 Seconds to Mars song. I started off with 14 songs on my list and had to narrow it down. And I had Closer to the Edge by 30 Seconds to Mars on there when I started because that's just a high energy song, but it didn't make it.
Yeah, I had a hard time just picking 10 songs. That was challenging. And I think that's how Mark ended up with the Ides of Mark because he needed 15.
Yeah, it definitely would have been easier if we had 15 spots. But But it was fun to try to narrow it down. I liked that added challenge of that limit.
Yeah.
I
same.
like that the next time I go running with my playlist, I can use this one and it's a heck of a lot shorter.
Yeah. And then you only have to run the length of the playlist, right? Is that how it works?
Yep, it works.
Done.
Just about 35 minutes or so.
Yeah.
So Sarah, yours threw me off because you didn't have any of Pink Floyd. There was no Pink Floyd on any list. That was going to be the gimme for me, but you foiled my plan.
Foiled you. Well, with it being a running playlist, you cannot absolutely run at all, really, to a Pink Floyd song. The only time I've ever managed to do it was in the Tetons. I don't know if you remember when I was running and it was just nothing but stars, and I was listening to Dark Side of the Moon.
Oh, nice.
And I was worried about coyotes eating me because there were big blood splatters in the middle of the road as I was running, and the van followed me, if you remember, on that run. That part. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. But that's the only time I've ever been able to run to a Pink Floyd song. Really, when Pink Floyd comes on, I just want to sit down and lay in the grass and look up. So
yeah,
you can't run to Pink Floyd. But you can sure as hell run to the park, especially when you get really mad.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What did you say?
You can really run to a Linkin Park song. I mean, you can run fast because you're mad.
Yeah, you are. I would like to say that although I picked Jess for that playlist, the theme I chose, Try Me, I'm a Badass, I Dare You to Stand in My Way. I mean, I feel like I should get a point for that.
I think so too.
Yeah.
When you said that,
like
and when you said that, you were talking about like that whole independent thing. I'm like, okay, but except you're describing Sarah right now. So
that Britney Spears song, she wrote that song not long after she came back. And if you look at the words to that song, Piece of Me, I mean, you want a piece of me? You want a piece of me? Trying to piss me off. She was, because she was so mad that everybody's just all over her and she's just trying to work and be a mama.
Right.
But anyway, you should listen to the words of that song. It's a definite F you, leave me alone. I'm a good, strong woman and deal with it.
Yeah, I think that's going to go on my Independence playlist, actually.
Yeah.
Let's just do that right now. Duh.
There you go.
So I'm curious how you all looked at the songs. I actually looked up the lyrics to every song on every playlist, and that's how I picked whose was whose. Dino felt like I was probably overthinking it and that not everyone pays as much attention to lyrics of songs as I do. But that's how I did it. I didn't actually listen to most of these, just a few. I listened to Jerusalem, and because when I looked up the lyrics, that was interesting. And I listened to one of Jess's.
Yeah, I reached the listening limit on Spotify, so there were a few songs I was not familiar with, so I just looked up lyrics to try and narrow it down that way.
I thought the Spotify app was pretty cool because I did the same thing. I really wanted to kind of listen to each playlist and sort of get the mood and the tone and the feel of it. But as I was kind of saying, and I was going to mention in my soapbox, it was getting kind of long, you can only shuffle when you don't have the premium. And so when you shuffle, sometimes one of the songs will be one of their suggested songs and not one of the actual playlist songs. But it will tell you at the top there, oh, this is one of our suggested songs. So I started skipping those, but you can only skip 6 in an hour. And that got kind of irritating because I had to kind of shut off when one of the suggested songs was playing. But the other thing about Spotify is if you click on the song and scroll down a little bit, a lot of the songs have the lyrics there. So that was really cool to be able to read the lyrics as you were listening to the song. I thought that was really helpful because I did the same thing, TC. I wanted to read the words and hear, because sometimes you can't hear all the right words.
Right. Except
for me, I sing all of my playlist songs perfectly, even though it was quite a slap in the face to realize I've been singing some of them wrong all this time. But
Don't you mean they're singing their song wrong? You're not singing it wrong.
Don't they know the words to their own song? It's ridiculous.
So what did you learn you were singing wrong?
Oh, it was one of the it wasn't Imagine Dragons, it was one of the One Republic songs. I'll have to look for it, and I can tell you, but I have to find it. I realized I was not saying it quite right. Something, I had the line wrong. The feel of it was right, but the line was wrong.
See, I did
I can find
not
it.
read any of the lyrics. I pay for a Spotify subscription, so I just listened to all the playlists. I listened to each playlist twice. I really enjoyed them.
Wow.
Yeah, it was good music.
I'm also curious if you all use playlists the way I do and the way I know Mur does, and that is like mood things. I mean, I do have a happiness playlist. I also have a driving a convertible playlist. I have an independence playlist, and I have a Dean and Trace playlist, and there are others as well. And I'm wondering if other people do that.
I mean, you already mentioned that you know that I do. I have a playlist. It's called Home, and that's the songs that remind me of Mark because Mark makes me feel at home, amongst many other.
I have a couple running mixes. I have a Lauren and Connor mix, Florida Keys, Christmas, because if you listen to it on the radio, they play the same 10 songs and I get sick of them. A wedding playlist and retreat playlists.
Yeah, I have a Christmas one
and
too.
St. Croix playlists. It's all soca.
I have one playlist, and it's a running playlist. It's the only one that I have.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it's interesting how different music, like how it plays different roles in people's lives. For some of us, it's very like it's almost like a backdrop to my life. I always have something going on, and Sarah is like, just when I run.
Yeah, it is interesting.
It's weird. It's like listening to a song. And this is going to sound really silly, but it doesn't shut all the other stuff down enough. I need to be listening to somebody else's conversation, and then I can do what just kind of chill. Just listening to songs, listening to all these playlists was awesome, but I had a task. So I wasn't just listening to music. I was looking at the lyrics. I was looking to see who I thought each song belonged to. So it was kind of fun, right? But I was sitting there doing a jigsaw puzzle as I was listening to the playlists. But usually I have to have an audiobook on, even doing a puzzle. It's weird. I much prefer listening to people talk than sing, I think. Unless it's Pink Floyd.
Yeah, obviously.
Too is I cannot play that, and Bill noticed this too because he listened to my playlist. It's a very dangerous playlist to listen to while driving because you end up driving about 90 miles an hour because you're just revved up listening to these songs because they're fast paced, and that's what I like.
Yeah, I don't have playlists so much as like I actually primarily use Pandora. And I have different channels on Pandora, so it's kind of like that, but just different ones for like if Ben and I are hanging out, like when we're cooking or when he's cooking, let's be honest. And when I'm or like we're doing a puzzle or playing a game or something, we will put on our oldies Pandora, and then like if I'm doing housework or something like that and I'm just by myself, then I put on my Jimmy Eat World channel, and that's more that's my angry channel. Sorry, that's also what I used to run to, because I can't do slow songs. So I have different channels for I guess different moods or what I'm doing.
Basically, anytime in our house or in our car, it's pretty much the Tom Petty channel.
That's a good choice.
What Bill, you just put it on that because really you can't go wrong with a Tom Petty song. So
Crack the Sky, that was yours, Jess.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you like that one? I didn't listen to that one.
What about that song?
That one is by Brand New, who is my favorite band, and they make me think about road trips in college back and forth from Ohio to South Carolina or South Carolina to Ohio, and I would put them on because it was a good mix of upbeat and like screamy, which would keep me awake in the mountains of Tennessee where you don't want to be sleepy because you will drive off a mountain. Um, and but also like kind of calm, and it would keep me fluctuating enough that I could stay awake. And yeah, I don't know. It's my brand new is my thinking back to college emo days.
Did any of you guys listen to the song or just read the lyrics?
Which
that
one?
particular song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen to the song. I listened to all the songs.
Oh, you did. Okay. Yeah, I love the way it sounds though. It has like a folky sound to it.
Yeah, but the words are crazy.
Yeah.
I
Well,
listened to that one a couple of times because I just couldn't believe it. I was like, wait a minute. What are we doing on that boat?
Your tongue is a rudder. It steers the whole ship. It sends your words past your lips.
Or keeps them safe behind your teeth.
Wow, she knows the word.
It's saying your words can use them to sink the ship, or you can keep them to yourself.
you can shut the fuck up. I'm just kidding.
Wow.
Yep.
All right, so TC said that she does like her metal, but has to like limit how much she listens to it. And then Sarah mentioned you gotta be careful listening to your playlist because you'll drive like a maniac. Does music have that sort of empathic effect on everyone? I agree with TC. If I'm listening to like sad or crazy intense rock music for a long time, I start to feel a little blue.
Yeah, I've recently stopped listening to rock so much because when I run or if I'm trying to drive real fast. But otherwise it's happy stuff.
For me, it's also the same with show tunes. I listen to a lot of show tunes, and sometimes I have to skip a song, not because I don't like it, but because I know what part of the play it is. And it's like, I can't listen to that right now or I'm going to cry and I'm at work. So I can't do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think music definitely can create a mood, make a mood. I mean, after all, that's why I have a running playlist. I'm trying to create that mood to get my ass moving and fast. So it's the same as anything else. You listen to a lot of, that's why sometimes Bill thinks I'm insane because I watch some of these people on these reality shows being really horrible to each other. And I agree. It's the same thing with music. Stuff like that can really affect your psyche overall.
I think whatever you let in, whatever you invite in, whether it's listening or reading or thinking, that's why I'm so big on self-talk. I was really into typo negative for a while, and I had to quit listening to them because it's pretty dark.
Can I just say that Dave Matthews, who had that song? Dave Matthews.
Me.
That was Elsie.
Oh my God. That song, you listen to that song and you listen to it, you cry every time you listen to that song. That is I think that was one of the most touching songs on the whole 5 playlists. There's something about that song. When you actually
imagine being in a stadium full of people and they're all, it was incredible.
I've seen Dave Matthews Band live a bunch of times. I really love that band. They did a music festival one year. He was supposed to take the year off from touring, and instead he did a music festival called Dave Matthews Band Caravan or something like that. And we went to Chicago to see that. But one of his songs is on my Dino and Treese playlist. It's not on there.
He was a headliner one year when Beth and I went down to the Hangout Fest.
Mm-hmm.
That was the headliner there.
That dude's brilliant. He's like, you know how they say there's a fine line between genius and insanity. I mean, especially when he had that music festival, he talks in all different voices. He's brilliant, and I think he tiptoes back and forth across that line.
Yeah. Whenever I'm in St. Croix, you guys know the song "Don't Drink the Water." by Dave Matthews. Oh
No.
man.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah.
that song always plays in my head whenever I go to the tap. I'm like, nope, don't drink the water here.
Is the fork song on your
On the
how am I
St.
gonna
Croix
eat
list.
without a fork? Yeah, is it on there?
Yeah, that's on my
I
St.
think
Croix
so.
list. Hell
That's
yeah.
amazing.
Hit
My
the
water
one.
song when I go to the tap is when I brush my teeth. And unfortunately for me, it's the Barney song that I'm
Mm.
hearing, you know. Brushing your teeth,
I love
never let the
you.
water run. You always have to turn
Oh,
the water on
that
while you're
one.
brushing. So that's my water at the tap song. Barney. Thank you very much, Barney.
Thanks a lot, Barney.
Thanks, Barney.
Thanks, Barney.
But what's your washing your hands song? Did everyone come up with a washing your hands song at the beginning of COVID? You had to make sure it was 30 seconds.
Listen, all I know is that if you go into Bob Evans, there's a sign that says you got to sing a whole verse of Old MacDonald, and that's how long you wash your hands. And
Or
that
you can
has
just
been
flip
there
this.
for years.
I'm trying to look up what the number one all-time song is because I think I have an idea.
There's a
It's
number
got to be a
one.
Michael Jackson song, doesn't it?
I think it's got to
How
be the
did they
Happy Birthday
determine it?
song.
Oh,
could
yeah,
be.
it's got to be
Yeah,
the
but
Happy
doesn't-
Birthday song.
Doesn't
Oh,
Michael Jackson own the Happy Birthday song?
Shit.
Somebody bought it.
That sounds like a Siren Song episode.
Or the ABC.
ABC. Oh, not that. You mean like
That one.
A, B, C, D. That one.
Which would also be Michael Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
But how
Yes.
do they determine what the number one song is?
I don't know. I can't even find it right now.
Can't we just call Casey Kasem? He'll know.
Yeah, exactly.
Aw,
he alive?
R.I.P.
Um,
No.
I don't know. Oops.
Oops.
You can contact him, Sarah, and let us know how that goes.
Breaks out a Ouija board.
So I just Googled what is the number one song of all time. And this said, what is the top song of all time, top 10 songs of all time, 1958 to 21. And the number one is Blinding Lights from 2019. Do you guys know that
What?
song?
Is that the
How
weekend?
can that be the number one song of all time? We have like Mozart existed.
Pink Floyd, The Wall, and Dark Side of the Moon. Hello.
Yeah.
But also that was like the most popular TikTok. That went viral.
Oh
That
my
song.
God.
Which one did? Blinding
The-
Lights?
Yeah.
I don't even know what it is, but
Is that the
there's Chubby
weekend?
Checker. There's
Mhm.
Chubby Checker on here and Santana, and there's
Which
Leanne
Santana
Rimes. It's Smooth, Santana
Smooth.
featuring
That's a good
Rob
one.
Thomas.
Can be
That's
so
awesome
smooth.
song. I feel like we need to get that and start listening to it right now.
Black Eyed
Okay.
Peas, The Macarena, and Shape of You by Ed Sheeran. Dino loves Ed Sheeran.
We've seen
love
him in
Ed Sheeran.
concert. He is unbelievable. It's
Yeah, we
just
want to see
him.
him.
He's the only one up there on stage, and he does he lays down each musical tone, note, instrument, and he's got it all, and then he puts it all together, and you can hear him building the song, and then all of a sudden he breaks into the song all by himself. It was amazing.
That is amazing. Mark was talking about an artist that he saw do the exact same thing, and I'll have to look at. I think I'll be able to find him. I'll figure that out while Tracy says what she was going to say.
I was going to ask top favorite concert of all time, and you can only pick one.
Hard.
Can it be
It's
a
like-
play? Because that's pretty much like a concert.
You mean a musical? I don't know.
Yeah. I
Go
really
for
haven't
it.
been to that many concerts.
I
Mm.
have a couple. I wish I could answer more than one
Chris
answer.
It's like narrowing it down to 10. You have to narrow it down to one. I know mine, and I've been to a lot of concerts, but mine's really
I think Chris Stapleton was one of my favorite concerts. He is phenomenal. The way he sings, his tone, his words, the fact that he's up there singing with his wife. I mean, it was an amazing concert.
I think my favorite concert of all time was Kesha at the casino downtown here in
Gosh, that was-
Cincinnati.
That was fun.
That was a fun show, and she was fun and high energy. I thought she was lip singing because there's no fucking way that you could move around and sing like that. And then she laughed in the middle of one of her songs, and it was very apparent that she wasn't lip singing because she laughed in the middle of one of her songs. And it was, I don't know, it was my favorite concert, I think, because she was just a ton of fun to watch. I bet I know Tracy's.
Go. Guess
No.
it.
Oh, I thought Sarah had something to say. I'm sorry, Sarah.
I was just saying, Pink does an incredible job at a concert. I mean, she.
Wait, you only get one.
I didn't say she was my favorite. I'm just saying, Pink was amazing.
Cheat.
Have you seen her?
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Yeah, we went
man,
to the concert.
I'm gonna have to see her.
She has a lot of good, angry, independent FU songs that are on my playlist that I didn't include in my favorites, but she's got some good ones.
Yeah, I really like Pink. I like her a lot. I have at least one of her songs on my Independence playlist.
I do too.
Be hard to make one without her. An Independence playlist.
Yeah, it's true. So TC, I think your favorite concert of all time is a 30 Seconds to Mars show. But
It's true.
It's either Chicago or New York.
It actually doesn't even matter. They just are so high energy, and their fans love them so much and love each other so much. It's like one big high energy, happy family jumping for hours. I really love their shows.
Yeah, I went to a couple of 30 Seconds to Mars shows with you, and I really enjoyed them as well.
Did they play at Bogart's? I feel like we went to one.
You may have.
I don't
LC
even know
or
any of
Jess?
their songs. Ooh, probably Jimmy Buffett, just because I've been to the most Jimmy Buffett concerts, and the whole thing's just a vibe. Everybody dresses up, and it's always fun.
Did you ever
Do we
watch,
decide if I'm allowed to?
Yeah, you can pick whatever you want.
If it can be a play, then it would be Phantom of the Opera. Ben took me to see that. I've seen it like 3 times, but Ben took me to see it when we were dating, and he got some like really close seats, and it was awesome.
Yeah, I like that one too.
I got to play that music when I was in high school on my violin, and it's beautiful.
Nice.
My mom and I went to see that in London, and it's a very, very small theater. So when they raised the chandelier, it was like you could almost reach out and touch it. It was incredible.
Wow.
Awesome.
Elsie, I was going to ask, have you ever watched Freddie and the Fish Sticks?
What is Freddie and the Fish Sticks?
It's another Jimmy Buffett band.
Really?
And I remember going to, because I used to go to Jimmy Buffett concerts all the time, a long time ago, and it was always at Riverbend and always on the lawn. Started hating that. Finally got seats in the pavilion, but they were all the way in the back because they were the least expensive, but didn't want to spend more money. And that was the year that Jimmy Buffett started the concert from the front of the lawn or the very back of the pavilion. So it was basically front row seats there for a little bit. And he was handing out tickets to his Freddie and the Fish Sticks show that happened after the concert. That was kind of fun.
Well, that's cool. I'll have to listen to them. I'd play it now, but we don't have the copyright.
I know. We don't want to get sued.
Right?
We can't play Santana.
That's how it goes.
That was so good. We might get a copyright.
Mark said that he thinks it's Robert DeLong, who also is like a one-man show. Kind of the same thing that you described about Ed Sheeran. Now I need to see Ed Sheeran.
It was amazing.
Yeah, I want to see him too.
He's another one of those guys that I have to read the lyrics because sometimes he's talking so fast. What the hell?
He's really good songwriter too. You know who else is a really good songwriter is Pat Monahan from Train.
And it was a Train song. Train song.
Yeah, it was LC's playlist. No, it was yours. It was yours, Sarah.
Mermaid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was reading this. I was reading this conversation that he was having with fans about his different lyrics. And you know, in that one song, he says, your lipstick stains on the front lobe of my left side brain. Somebody asked him what that meant. He's like, that's just my way of saying that I couldn't get her kiss off my mind. I thought that was kind of cool.
That's
That
interesting.
makes sense.
Yeah.
I wish I was that creative when I was writing.
I know. That is super creative.
It is. You guys want to hear some misheard lyrics?
Abso-friggin-lutely.
All right. We built this city. Oh, how do we want to do this? Do you want to say what the words actually are or what people hear?
Let's say both. What the words actually are, but this is what people hear. That's how
All
I
right.
do it.
So then you guys can guess. So the actual lyrics are, we built this city on rock and roll. What do you think people hear? Or what do you guys hear when you?
That's what
That's
I've
fine.
always thought it was.
Me too.
People hear, we built this city on sausage rolls.
And that could be Cincy. Get a sausage.
Yeah, I'll put the link to this in the show notes because these are funny. Purple haze. Excuse me while I kiss the sky.
I bet some people hear, excuse me while I kiss this guy.
Yes.
Which works for me.
Right? That's what I'm going to start to say to Mark from now on every time I...
Oh, you guys have probably heard this one. Sweet dreams are made of these.
That's what I always thought it was.
Me too.
I thought it was
Cheese.
Because
Who
I
am
love
I?
cheese.
Who am I to disagree?
Oh my God.
Wow.
All right. I can see clearly now the rain is gone.
Okay.
People
Think
miss
of what else
that.
you would hear.
I can see clearly now Lorraine is gone.
That bitch.
Poor Lorraine.
She's so tall. I can never see past her.
All right. Living on a prayer doesn't make a difference if we make it or not.
I thought
What
it
do other
was...
people?
Yeah, I thought it was... We'll make it, I swear. That must be a different line.
People here doesn't make a difference if we're naked or not.
I mean, it doesn't in most situations.
But it sure can.
It typically leads to something else, Mur. Come on now.
But it doesn't matter if you're naked or not.
That's right.
Apparently.
Oh!
All right. Sex on fire. Your sex is on fire. What do people hear?
That's what I've
I
always
don't
heard.
think I know that song.
It's a Kings of Leon song.
Yeah. People
I'm gonna
hear,
have to look it up, 'cause
dyslexics on fire.
Oh, no. It seems like a hate crime.
I say that's a hate crime.
I know. All right. This one's good. REM losing my religion. That's me in the corner. That's me in the spotlight.
Okay.
People hear, let's pee in the corner. Let's pee in the spotlight.
No,
Ew.
thank you, REM.
Gross.
All right. There's a whole bunch of these. I'll do one more. What do people hear when they hear getting jiggy with it?
Na 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 na.
Na 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 na.
I don't know. That's what I always thought it was.
Getting chicken with it.
All right, so there's a song. It's Roller Coaster of Love. My aunt used to think they were singing Emily Brewster of Love.
What?
Yeah. And then there's Knock, Knock, Knocking on Heaven's Door. My aunt used to think they were saying Knocking on Evelyn's Door.
It is now.
TC, what was your big faux pas, remember?
So I thought it was Never Go Crazy About Shotgun Sam.
Every girl's
And it's-
crazy about Shotgun Sam.
No, I thought it was Never Go Crazy About Shotgun Sam. And no,
And everybody's crazy about a sharp-dressed man.
Yes.
every girl's crazy about a sharp dressed man. But I thought it was Shotgun Sam, and they were talking about They were talking about the dude from Bugs Bunny.
That's awesome.
So we have a challenge for our explorers tonight. We want you to create a top 10 playlist of your own and share it with us. You can use the hashtag Siren Soapbox or just send us a link to the playlist at sirensoapbox@gmail.com. And with your permission, of course, we'll share your playlist on our social medias as well and give you a shout out on the show. Marky Mark, I know you're not here, but I'm certain you'll hear this. So thank you so much for getting out of your comfort zone and sending us this challenge. It was fun to build my playlist, but it was also so much fun to learn about my fellow Sirens through their favorite songs. And Sirens, thank you for sharing your music with us. This is my new favorite episode.
Yes, it is.
This was a lot of fun. And of course, thank you, fellow explorers, for listening to this episode. We're working on getting some content up on our Patreon for your listening pleasure. We've gotten some good feedback on our newest spinoff, Siren Song, and you'll be getting even more of that when you join our Patreon. So you could also buy us a virtual coffee. All donations are going to fund this here adventure train. But if another monthly subscription If another monthly subscription isn't your thing, we get it. Listening to the show and sharing it with your friends is also such a big support, and we really appreciate you spending your time with us. And until next time, dive in, stay curious, and be happy.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Siren Soapbox, and a special thank you to C Strings for providing our music. Snag their latest EP from iTunes today. Follow the Sirens on all the social medias, and don't forget to tell your friends about us. Like and subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts. We'll catch you next time on another episode of Siren Soapbox.